Turning a standard skid steer requires a huge amount of energy. The energy required for the chains that drive the wheels, plus the bearings, because the wheels are skidding on the pavement as it turns. The heavier the load, the harder it is. The super skid steer merely lifts the back wheels off the ground. Now it turns like a regular zero turn. There's no tire wear, there's no bearing wear. The life of your bearings, the life of your tires is increased substantially. You can see as the skid steer turns around, it doesn't leave a lot of pavement. It doesn't leave a lot of rubber on the pavement. This is huge when it comes to tire life. Okay, right now you can hear the engine idling, and we're going to go make some maneuvers to explain how Pannys Super Skid Steer is able to get 35 to 50% better fuel economy. Fuel economy relates to money. In this little demonstration, we're going to leave the Bobcat at an idle. Now, even at an idle, you can see that the hydraulics work fine, as long as you don't find anything. It takes a huge amount of effort just moving the Bobcat back and forth. It takes even more effort to try to make it turn. We have lots of power available to do just that. But for this demonstration, we're going to leave the skid steer at an idle just to show you how much effort it takes to maneuver. Once the wheels are down, notice how easily the skid steer moves around. And this is only at an idle. It can move one way, it can move the other way. Very simply, with almost no effort. Notice also that there's no skid marks on the pavement. The tires will last an awful long time because they're not being torn off. One of the first things that we noticed when we took this Super Skid Steer out to do some actual work in the field, that when we came in, the fuel consumption was almost half of what we normally use. And we started to wonder, how is that possible? We've been finding out that working with the Super Bobcat, you really don't have to use full power to maneuver, even if you're carrying large loads. We've been running with half throttle. We've been maneuvering with half throttle. And it makes it nice, it makes it quieter, and it works every bit as good as the skid steer running with full throttle. That alone will save a lot of fuel. But the fact that it can move around so easily, that is just humongous. Well, here's a typical example. Let's say we're doing a little work around this yard and we need to go up and over, and let's see what happens here. Not too hard to figure. We're not going anywhere. Well, let's try the Super Skid Steer. The advantages of being able to put the back wheels down, it's just amazing. When you get into a bind or you need some extra help, notice how the wheels lifted right off the ground makes a huge difference. How does that relate to the real world? Well, let's take a look at that. This is a typical little hill you might be working on, and these are the problems that you face in the real world. Well, how do I get up it? Well, there's no problem if you got a Super Skid Steer. It goes up and over these hills like it wasn't even there. It makes a huge difference if you're loading uphill and you got the Super Skid Steer. Well, you wouldn't do this with a regular skid steer, but With the Super Skid Steer, it just handles it like the hill wasn't even there. Well done. Notice how stable the machine is as it runs around. The standard bucket that comes on the Super Skid Steer almost looks the same. It's a little bigger than a standard bucket you might find on a 3,000-pound machine, but it's designed a little differently, and it's designed to be able to dig. With the tremendous downforce that's allowed with the Super Skid Steer, you can find, we'll go into high speed motion here just to give you an idea how it can dig. Move over, dig a little bit more here, make a little hole here. You couldn't do that with a regular skid steer. You can play with it all day long. The front wheels will just pop off the ground. It's going nowhere. On the job site, you're often finding little ruts and angles or something you dig or a hole you got to go to, or if you're digging a patio or a driveway or something. And it gets pretty hard if you have to work through one of these holes, as you can see what's happening here. Now the Super Skid Steer handles these with no problem. It just goes through, pops up the other side, and away you go. And we'll do a few more just so that you can see. It doesn't matter which angle we approach it on, whether we approach it sideways or whether we approach it on a forward angle, a backward angle. It'll just roll through these holes like they're not even there. With the price of fuel these days, saving 35 or 50% of the fuel, that's a big thing. That alone will pay for the cost of these skid steer. If you would like to see a demo or try out this Super Skid Steer, give us a call. We'd be more than happy to show it to you or let you even try it out. If you'd like to learn more about Pannys Super Skid Steer, subscribe to our channel or give us a call.